Hi, I'm Stephanie Laska. I lost 140 pounds and created Dirty Lazy Keto. Thanks for joining me here on the YouTube channel. Be sure to subscribe and enjoy the show. Well, I want everybody to have a great time this week because we're talking about one of my favorite foods. We're talking about Mexican food on a ketogenic diet. Mexican food. So if you like Mexican food, please give me a thumbs up so I know I'm not alone, because I love it, love it, love it. During my journey of losing 140 pounds, I know I cannot even believe this is me sometimes, but it is with really bad makeup. Couldn't someone have told me I looked like a ghost? But anyway, this is my before picture. This is me today. But during my process, during my weight loss journey, I still enjoyed eating a lot of Mexican food. My husband loves it. So on my ketogenic journey, I had to learn how to figure it out. I had to figure out what was low carb, what was keto friendly, and learn how to cook differently. That way I could still have my Mexican food, yes, for me and for my family, and live large, yeah? And do so on a realistic budget that was affordable using normal food, nothing special, regular grocery stores that I could access like Walmart. That was important to me because I'm not fancy. So today I want to share with you guys 6 tips, 6 for how to enjoy Mexican food on a ketogenic diet. And if you stay to the end, I put together a video. It's under 3 minutes of how you can make fast, super fast keto enchiladas. And it's 3 minutes videos. I know, 3 minutes. It's like I'm trying to be like a TikToker, but I'm really not because I'm a boomer. But I promise you it's delicious. I had it for dinner last night. So 6 tips, you guys. Ready? You can count. Number 1, the first tip I have for you is to swap it. When it comes to Mexican food, if something is important to you, you know what I mean? Like, I think most people, well, I shouldn't say most people. For me anyway, when I first started thinking about like Mexican food and ketogenic diet, I was like, well, what do you do about tacos? Because I ate a lot of tacos in my previous life and I needed a swap, like I needed a substitute. So what do you do for your tacos? Share in the comments. I want to know. I've been trying all sorts of fun and creative things. This is my newest adventure. I am so excited about this. It just came in the mail from Amazon. It is, I don't even know. It's a professional taco shell maker. I'm going to melt my cheese in the little saucepan and then I'm going to lay it down here like this little sticker and it's going to be perfect. It's going to look just like that. I've been doing it, playing around with it, with recipes for cookbooks. And playing around with it, it makes a big mess and it's dripping all over my kitchen. And I got like spoons and handles and trapezes and it's just a disaster. So I'm going to try this and see if it's the answer to my prayers. Because for me, it's important. I mean, you can go, buy all sorts of different substitutes, right? Or swaps. I've shared with you guys about these egg wraps, and they do have a little eggy taste, but it's okay. I'm willing to work with it. And then we've also talked about doing things like low-carb tortillas, right? Of course, those are available. But there's so many things about Mexican food that you might be sad about. Or you might just keep thinking about. Like, are you thinking about nachos? Anyone? Tortilla chips? Thumbs up if you love chips and you miss the dang chips. So are you running out and buying Quest chips? They can be expensive, right? Like $4 a bag or something ridiculous. Yeah, I can't handle that. So what I've learned to do is just swap it out when it comes to Mexican food. Either I'm going to have like some little cheese wisps like these from the grocery store, which can be pricey and I can end up eating 1,000 of them, right? Or I might make my own. And it's so easy to do if you have your low carb tortillas, whatever brand style you like to use, and you just spray a little olive oil or regular oil, any oil, and coat them front and back. Cut them into taco chip shapes, and you can either toast them in the oven or put them in your air fryer. And instantly, you have tortilla chips. So delicious and so easy to do. And it's fast, which is important to me. Now, if you are like me and you're kind of like, you want to make things on your own, not necessarily drive around and buy all these expensive substitute thingy-doos, I like to try to figure out how to make these products at home. So for example, in the Dirty Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook. This is the newest one. The jalapeno wispy crisps is on page 90. Okay. And they look like this. And I had some to show you guys, and then I ate them all. Isn't that funny? They were in my freezer. I keep them there. That way I don't eat too many at a time. And I went to get them this morning, and I'm like, where are they? Oh, yeah, I ate them all. Sorry about that. So I have the picture here. And if you have your copy of the 5-ingredient cookbook, refer to page 90. These are a great chip substitute and so easy to make. And then it's a little bit more affordable, I think, than buying all this stuff. But if you're like me, you think, well, just because I'm on a ketogenic diet, like, what about rice? Do you have Spanish rice? I get that a lot. Mexican rice, Spanish rice. What do I do about the rice? Well, what do you do? If you've got experience with this, give me your comment. Tell me what you do as a sub. What I tend to do is I either go without and just skip it, or I'll make something like a cauliflower rice. And this is a packaged one, but you can certainly make it from scratch or buy it frozen rice cauliflower. Just add your traditional Mexican seasonings, just like you would normally, and boom, it tastes the same. I made it the other day for dinner with tacos, and my kids didn't even notice. They're like, Mom, you're eating rice? And I'm all, uh-huh. And they didn't even know they were eating cauliflower. So it can be done, people. It can be done. I mean, I know some things are harder than others, especially when it comes to like refried beans or black beans. And I know I've shared with you guys some tips, like, for example, the Eden black soybeans, which are lower in carb. But sadly, they just announced a new label. Oh, I know, I'm so mad, where they increase the amount of net carbs per serving. And I sadly still have the old can, but the new can shows a higher amount. So it's still better than nothing, but it's up to you. I'm not going to weigh in on that one because then people write me letters. Stephanie, why'd you tell me to buy those? Another wonderful swap idea, we're talking about our favorites, but I would not be able to sleep at night if I didn't talk to you about the teensy-weensy taquitos, because I used to eat frozen taquitos from Costco. Do you remember those? Ooh, in my previous life. And I figured out how to make them using melted cheese instead of the tortilla, the fried tortilla. The melted cheese makes a really easy way to roll up your deliciousness. Mexican food at its finest. So good. And this is on page 96 of the same book, 5-ingredient. I'll just focus on this book today so I'm not like dropping stuff. So that's all step one. That's all tip one for swap it. Pretty good, right? I know. I'm going fast today. So number 2. When it comes to focusing on Mexican food on a ketogenic diet, here's my tip. Think about the cheese, people. Come on. How can you complain about tortilla chips when you have full-fat cheese at your disposal? Really? I know. It's like amazing to me that you can lose weight and eat cheese. Like, who came up with this? Dirty Lazy Keto is amazing. Hello? I'm not joking around. And we're talking about all cheese. Now, I know the strict keto Nazis or whatever will be all like, oh, you can't have the shredded stuff. It has carbs. Who cares? It has a little bit of like potato starch to keep it from clumping. And some manufacturers use more than others, but just shop around. I mean, are you really going to shred your own cheese? Some of you will say, yes, I know. I'll come to your house. I don't have that kind of time, people. I'm very busy. But I also think about, things like sour cream, full fat sour cream and weight loss. That's like ridiculous. All the full fat deliciousness that you can have can make your Mexican food taste amazing. Like using real cream cheese to make things like jalapeno poppers or all sorts of yummy recipes, right? Some soups. And even think about olives. Olives are a natural fat source that we often forget about. Now, keep in mind a serving size of large black olives. Can you guess how many? It's 2 olives. That's so mean. But anyway, that is a serving size of olives. I think for medium, it's 3 olives. I'm all, whoa, thanks. But keep in mind, they do add up fast when it comes to eating these. Another healthy fat source with Mexican food is avocados. Avocados. I honestly didn't have an avocado until I think I was in college. I came to Santa Barbara and I had no idea what these were. They were hanging outside my apartment and I thought they were like some kind of droppings. And all of a sudden everyone at work wanted them and I brought them in to share and they were going crazy. I didn't even know what they were. And that was the first time I'd ever had guacamole. I know, right? And I was like in my 20s. So think about avocados and guacamole and that delicious fat that you can have on Dirty Lazy Keto and with your Mexican food. It makes it like more tolerable to say goodbye to chips when you can have such wonderfulness, right, in other areas. And there's even fun flavors out there. I picked this up at the 99-cent only store because I'm fancy where I shop. And these were 99 cents. You can see my price tag. And it was a Taco Bell Zesty Ranch flavored cheese. Isn't that fun? So it kind of adds like a little bit of Mexican flavor to whatever it is I'm making. I know, I'm being a little silly, but I want you to have a little fun instead of being so stressed out. Like, I love Mexican food. What am I going to do? What am I going to do? So that was tip number 1. Think about the swaps. And then tip number 2 is really focusing on fat being fabulous and giving yourself that big hug and say, oh, I'm so lucky. I'm so lucky. Rephrase the way you think about it. And oil too. I didn't have that here, but oil, I love Mexican food cooked in oil, especially when I order stuff at restaurants. Sometimes it's got all sorts of oil and it just tastes so good, right? And salty. It tastes yummy. Now, don't forget about drinks. We're not just talking about food when we're talking about Mexican food, right? Well, it is Mexican food. But I was thinking about getting my drink on. Hello. You like my giant cup here? This is from New Orleans. I know, it's really classy. I couldn't find a margarita glass, but I wanted to show my Jose Cuervo, my tequila, because hard alcohol is 0 grams of net carbs. You're all, what? I know, it's like the secret of Dirty Lazy Keto. You can have your drink on this lifestyle and still lose weight. It's very, very true. Now, of course, you don't want to cut it with some kind of sugary garbage, right? You want to make a margarita, perhaps, that is lower in carb, sugar-free. And I got to show you guys, my favorite drink to make is called a glow stick margarita. And I call it that because I use a glow stick to stir, and you can have it outside at a party or having friends over. And this is in the Dirty Lazy Keto 5-ingredient cookbook. They're all from here today, and it's on page 198 if you need to refer to it so you can get your drink mixed up tonight, okay? Now, which idea has been your favorite so far? Put it in the comments and let me know, because I'm going to pick someone from the comments to win a prize. We like prizes. We like prizes. Yes, we do. I'm going to spin the wheel, folks, so you know what's coming, because then you'll know how much you want to comment, right? You'll get more active in the comments. If it's something fun, maybe I'll get a drink while we're waiting, since we're talking about drinks. What's the prize? What is it? Ooh, a dry erase calendar. So a dry erase calendar for Dirty Lazy Keto, where you can write down your goals, you can track your weight loss, you can track your carb intake. And I will send one of these to you. Do I have one here? This one got a little bent because it looks like I might have sat on it, but I promise you I'll send you a fresh one. But it's a Dirty Lazy Keto, a dry erase calendar. It peels and sticks, and you can put it right on your refrigerator, and you can track whatever it is you're working on, like your water, your net carbs, your vegetables, your weight loss, how many carbs per day, anything. And then you just wipe it off and get started the next day. So I'll pick some people from the comments to win, so make sure you are putting your comment on. Okay. So number 4, I want to share with you the 4th tip for enjoying Mexican food on a ketogenic diet. And that is some of the favorite meals that I like to make. One of them, lately, I'm obsessed with making shrimp dishes. I discovered these at Costco, this giant bag of cooked tail-on shrimp. And it's so easy. You just pull the little tails off, rinse it under some cold water, and then saute it in some butter or olive oil until they're brown and golden on each side. And then you're ready to go. And then you can put it inside whatever it is you're making. And it's pretty affordable too. One of my favorite things to make is, to order in restaurants, is fajitas. I really like how simple it can be. And I like how you can add so many vegetables to the dish. I love bell peppers, and I either buy them fresh or frozen and dice them up, or order these in a restaurant. But the fajitas are just a fun thing to order. And you can get shrimp, chicken, beef, whatever it is you're interested in, steak. What I like to do is, my son doesn't really like Mexican food. So he eats the beans and rice that comes with the meal, and then I eat everything else. So we're quite a team because I know it can be pricey in a restaurant. But that's one thing I like to do. If you are interested more in like spicy, have you ever tried soy chorizo? There's a lot of fun things you can do with chorizo. It's pretty spicy and gives that Mexican flavor. Or you can get pork chorizo, mix it with eggs, or you tell me, what do you like to do? That's what I do. Another fun dish that my family really enjoys is on page 147. And this is, I call it the crash course carnitas. Carnitas is basically a pork roast, and you just stick it in your slow cooker. And then you're like, I'm done. Right? I mean, there's a couple more steps involved, but essentially that's about it, right? You just stick that puppy, that pork roast in your slow cooker, and then pretty soon you've got dinner. And that is easy peasy to make. And the recipe, the full recipe on how to do it, like I said, it's on page 147, okay? And that's the 5-ingredient cookbook. Another favorite of my family's, these are just some of my family favorites of Mexican food. I know I've talked about this before, but my husband is obsessed with jalapeno poppers. I buy so many jalapenos each week at the grocery store that I was there yesterday at Safeway, and I was picking out like probably about 3 pounds of jalapenos, and I do that regularly. And this lady was waiting patiently for me, standing there waiting. And she's all, you really do eat a lot of jalapenos. It was like kind of embarrassing. I said, yeah, we probably do. Maybe 3 pounds every week or two. I don't know. Is that a lot? It really is tasty. And I did not like this kind of food before, back when I was back on carbs. And now I just can't get enough. I like my palate changed since losing weight. Do you guys like jalapenos? Give me a thumbs up if you do. If you need a fun recipe, you know I've got several, multiple recipes for jalapeno poppers in the Dirty Lazy Keto cookbooks. But since I'm sticking with this one today, I want to show you a picture. These are called the pre-party poppers, and it's on page 103. So you can see here, these have like a nice crunchy outside, and they are really yummy. Like a pre-party, like what you might eat before you go, before you head out to have your drinks. But either way, they're super good. So that's step 4. Now, step 5, or tip 5, I should say, is that I recommend cutting your carbs by getting fresh, but not crazy. Cut those carbs by getting more fresh with your ingredients, but don't get all stressful and obsessive about it. But here are a few things of what I'm talking about when I say cutting carbs. For example, I learned pretty quickly during my cookbook calculation hours that fresh minced garlic has a lot less carbs than powdered garlic. I know. And this doesn't mean you're being like stressed out and crazy, but you are just being aware. And every carb does count. And when you're trying to eat more food, you want to make sure that you're getting the best bang for your buck. So eating more fresh garlic instead of powdered is a great tip for you. And that would be similar to, putting away things like minced onion or powdered onion. Those are going to be pretty high and rang up in carbs fast. And same thing with, white onion, yellow onion, even purple onion. They're pretty high in carbs. So for me, I've learned to, I still have them, but I do so more in moderation. That's really the key. You don't have to be all crazy and like stressed out about it all. Just moderation. That's my trick, okay? Now, for example, moderation I was talking about. Back in the olden days, I used to love tomatoes, and I would eat them like grapes almost. I would just pop them in my mouth, put them on all my Mexican food, pile them on top on salads and whatnot, tacos. But now I've realized they are a little bit higher in carbs maybe than I'm comfortable with. They do add up fast, and they are part of the nightshade family. So they're not as clean of a vegetable as I would say like broccoli. Not as fun though, right? So what I do is instead of having the cherry tomatoes, I try to go for more of like a sliced tomato, and then I dice it finely, and I just have a little bit. That way I'm still getting the flavor, moderation, still enjoying the flavors of the Mexican food, but not like going overboard where I'm like racking in too many carbs. Now, I told you I'm not crazy. I'm not all psycho when it comes to my carb cutting. A lot of folks will say, oh, you can't use these like taco powders and Mexican taco flavorings. They have sugar, they have this. You know, you're probably right. I'm sure they do. Now, if you have a brand you'd like to recommend to everyone, put it in the comments. Or even if you have a recipe on how you make this stuff, let us know. I sometimes don't have time for all that, and I do use the commercial products. I just don't go crazy. You know what I mean? And I'm sure they do have some stuff in there, but I'm more important for me to make dinner and like move on in life. I can't be perfect at everything, and I don't really want to. Like, it's just too convenient for me, and I'm not going to skip out on that. You got to kind of choose what you're going to be careful about and what you don't want to be careful about, because you can't do everything right. You can't. You got to like chill sometimes. I like to do, you know, fresh ingredients when I can. For example, I've discovered lately the power of limes. I know they're a low-carb fruit, which is like low-carb fruit. That's not a fruit. It is. I know it's not a sexy fruit, but it is a fruit. And it does add a powerful punch to your food. I was mentioning earlier about sauteing shrimp, and put a little lime on your shrimp and it like makes it dance. Like it makes the flavors just amazing. Another fresh vegetable, or fresh herb, I should say, that I've been using a lot lately is cilantro. Oh, do you like cilantro? Tell me in the comments. Some people think it tastes like soap, which I don't know. I don't know how that works, but I love it. I find that adding it to my dinners and my meals, my Mexican food, it just wakes it up a lot. I put it on everything now. Tacos, enchiladas, carnitas, salads, everything related to Mexican food. Enchiladas, I throw on some of that guacamole. Another thing I like to do is I just keep a Ziploc of fresh cut up bell pepper. I think it's a really easy way to get some fresh flavor and a little punch, a little more vegetable into whatever it is I'm eating. And I mentioned about onion. Instead of using white onion, purple onion, yellow onion, onion powder, onion minced, I've been using more and more green onion. They are a lot less in net carbs per serving. So, and they taste pretty much the same. It's an onion. Who cares if it's green or red? I just use this one and I save myself a few carbs and it tastes yummy. Whenever I'm cooking anything related to Mexican food, you can be sure that my husband's got some fresh jalapeno on top. Not the jalapeno poppers, but just the raw jalapenos. We always have a big Tupperware diced as well as ready to go for poppers. And then I always like to keep fresh lettuce around because all that cheese is delicious and sour cream, but I can eat a ton of it. So I need like some vegetables to like slow me down. Like I need some filler. It's like I'm a cattle. Like fill me up with some fresh veggies in addition to my yummy, cheesy Mexican food with sour cream and guac. Like lettuce. And that way it kind of slows me down, fills me up, and then I eat less overall. So that's a little trick of mine to get fresh. Now, my last tip of the day, this is number 6 before we show the video on how to make enchiladas, is to get spicy. Spicy, spicy, spicy. Like, how many of you, do you make your own enchilada sauce or do you buy it in a can? What do you do? I mean, they're pretty low in carb. It's kind of like a dirty, lazy keto miracle. Red enchilada sauce or green, they're both very low. So don't be afraid to use some of these shortcut products and add a little spice to whatever it is you're making. My pile here is getting very big. I found this at Costco last week. It's called Bitchin' Sauce Chipotle. And I said it at dinner. My daughter's like, oh, Mom. I know. It's so fun to say. And it tastes amazing. You can put it on anything. It's kind of like a salad dressing, a dip. I don't know. I made steamed broccoli and just poured this all over it. It's called Bitchin' Sauce Chipotle. And it was for sale at Costco in my neighborhood. But check it out. See if you can find it in your area. Hot sauce, surprisingly, it's like 0 net carbs. So get your heat on. Make things a little hot and spicy. And when you're cooking, don't be afraid to experiment with some new flavors. I had a lot of fun cooking with chipotle, and I've made several recipes with the sauce and by dicing up the chipotle peppers and the different type of peppers. You can kind of go to like different sections of the grocery store maybe you're not familiar with and try some new things. And then your Mexican food will be like amazing. And when it comes to salsa, I mean, do you make your own? I tend to buy it a little bit. I know. Sometimes I'm just so lazy. That's okay. And just read the label. You know, I try to shop around. Some of the salsas do have added sugar. And I am careful about that. And some are better than others. So I just kind of use it in moderation. But either way, it makes my food taste great. So what do you guys think? Was there an idea there that caught your eye that you were like, I hadn't thought of that? I hope that you'll share that in the comments, or just share your favorite part. Or you can just say, pick me, because I know that I have to pick a winner and I want to pick someone who's excited. So make sure you're writing a lot in the comments. So as promised, I'm going to play that short video about how to make fast keto enchiladas, and hopefully I don't mess up. So let me know in the comments if it plays okay. Okay, you guys? Here we go. And I think I should even be able to talk while it's playing, but you probably are like, I'm done with you, Stephanie. No more talking. Okay, here we go. Let's see if it plays. Let me know in the comments. Fast keto enchiladas.
First, I'm going to gather my needed
I'm going to talk about some of my ingredients to start. These are the ingredients I use.
Fresh cilantro.
Egg wraps, cilantro.
Yummy queso.
Queso cheese.
Full fat, of course.
I did use a little purple onion.
Fresh jalapeno.
Some jalapeno on the side.
Green chili
some green enchilada sauce.
You can use red too.
I used some black olives.
Some olives, yum. And
some rotisserie chicken. It was already cooked. What a cool shortcut that is.
Let's make some enchiladas.
And here is how I made it. So quiet. Is anyone getting hungry watching this? Now I did use 2 of the wraps because the first time I made it, it tore. So then I learned to go back and use a double layer. That's a little pro tip for you. Now you could spice up your enchiladas by adding more jalapeno on top, or you could add more tomato on top. I was trying to keep my carb count down, so I did not put the tomatoes on while cooking. And my kids were going to have this, so I waited to the end to add jalapenos to mine and my husband's, just for our serving. Baked it covered in tinfoil at 375 until it was warm and bubbly. Didn't take long. And ta-da! Everybody got a hefty large serving, and it was delicious. It was delicious, delicious, delicious. I know. Did that work? Could you see it okay? Was it amazing? I'm trying to be all fancy and incorporate a few videos and do different things to try to share and get the message out. I want to help you guys to learn as much as possible. And so forgive me if I make some mistakes sometimes. But it is a learning process. I mean, the big picture today, guys, the message I was trying to get across to you is that Mexican food on a ketogenic diet, like Dirty Lazy Keto, it's possible. And it's a lifestyle that's doable for everyone. And it works, you guys, because it's flexible and it's easy to do for the long haul. You don't feel deprived. You don't feel like you're missing out. You get to have all of your favorite foods. You just learn to enjoy them in a new low-carb way. And that's not hard to do. And I'm here to help you figure it all out. So if you did like this kind of little meal prep video, like I just showed you, I'll link up another one at the end of the video. That way you can just click on it and go to the next one with more meal prep tips. But just know that I'm here to support you guys. I'm here to help. I believe weight loss is possible I believe it's doable, and I know that you can transform your life and your health with Dirty Lazy Keto. So I'm going to give you a huge round of applause for coming today. Huge round of applause. Give yourself a pat on the back, a pat on the back, a pat on the back, because you did it. 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 And you're here to learn, and you put yourself first, and that is really what it's all about. You just put one foot in front of the other and do it again and again and again and again and again. And then before you know it, you're at your goal. That's how it works.